AITA for not wanting to pick up my wife from the airport at 12:30 am. Backstory, my wife is coming back from a 4-day business trip. Her flight is just under 3 hours. And she will be landing around 12:30 am. Airport is about 30 minutes away from our home. She generally hates flying in this late. And asked if I could come pick her up from the airport. To clarify, the airport is O'Hare. It's a huge, busy airport. There are hundreds of business travelers coming through even at 1 am. And a huge fleet of taxis/Ubers standing by to take them home. If this was a little airport and she was waiting by herself for a taxi for 20 minutes, you would not be reading this post. As much as people are sensitive to it, safety is realistically not a huge issue here. And in BSP, I have to get up early and commute to work the next morning. And wouldn't be getting home until 1-1:30 am. I get why she wants me to come. And I know it would be the good thing to do. But I also feel like she'd be completely fine just taking a taxi this one time. Am I just being lazy? Or am I being a lazy asshole here? Edit. And NBSP. Edit. Sigh. Good damn it. I kind of knew in the back of my head that I should just go. But thank you for confirming. I'll suck it up and go get her. Thanks Reddit. And NBSP. Edit 2. I went. She had a shitty flight and was surprised/overwhelmed to see me and cried happy tears. It was a cute moment. Your comments and shaming made it all possible. Okay, off to bed. AITA because she asked you, her husband, for a favor. For a reason. She knows she can take Uber. She probably doesn't want to do that at that time. Wait. What's the reason if she can take an Uber? I genuinely don't understand. AITA. She's your wife. Be willing to help your partner. Your work would understand if you were sleep deprived. This is a case of no one is an asshole here. Yes, it's nice if he goes and picks her up. But at the same time they are married, and I'm sure that his wife would understand him not wanting to be tired for work. Especially if they've been together for quite a while. One tends to know the other on a deeper level and vice versa. AITA go get your wife. Now, I'm sure she'll understand that you need your sleep. And Uber exists for this very reason. Edit, guys. It's Chicago. Not Wharton Mossel. And it's only a 30-minute drive. What kind of codependent relationships are people in this sub in? I agree with you. And I'm a woman in my late 30s. I would never, ever expect my husband to come and pick me up after a business trip. Nor vice versa. Business expenses exist for a reason. We each support each other's careers by looking after the house and children while the other one is working away. Not by dragging ourselves out of bed needlessly in the middle of the night. Now it's reasonable on both sides. You have an early commitment and value your sleep. She sees it as you're her husband and has an expectation that you would pick her up instead of a stranger. Agreed on this one. I don't think it's about the convenience or safety of taking an Uber at that hour, but the time and sacrifice that partners do for each other in general. Probably not always expected, but is always nice. My fiancé always has to be up early for his work, so I understand if he couldn't always pick me up, but he still wouldn't allow me to take a cab if it's already late. So I also make sure that I will always be there to pick him up when he comes home late from the airport whenever I can. AITA, if it was a friend requesting this as a big favor. But it's your wife. You shouldn't even be having a thought of not picking her up. If you're struggling and considering this a big request, God forbid something challenge your marriage like a sickness or anything of that nature. Man up and follow through on your vows. You remember taking them, right? Dear Edit. My wife lost her job and she's looking for work, but it's eating into our savings. Am I an asshole for wanting a divorce? It's been 2 weeks. AITA. This is so odd to me that people refuse to go out of their way for their partners. If my boyfriend asked me to pick him up I would have no problem because I love him and I love to see him and I can handle a little bit of sleep deprivation later on in the day. It honestly baffles me. Stop being so fucking selfish. I don't even think that op would think she would have thought I will call my husband first because she feels safer with her own husband. Now, it's a business trip. So the company is responsible for paying for her transportation home from the airport. But at that late hour it's reasonable that she would not want to Uber. Any reasonable business should pay for a town car service to pick her up and bring her home at that time of night. Has she asked them about that? Though. Honestly. I wouldn't even ask. I'd book the town car and put it on my expense report. I second this. I travel for work. The company books a car service from airport to office. Some people tell me to get an Uber because it is cheaper for the company. I don't feel safe in the Uber, so I get the car service. You can't really argue with safety. I would just like to commend you on your maturity. Accepting your verdict and adding an I said it. Try to get some sleep and be safe. Side note, while I'm capable of taking an Uber, I'd be terrified and would totally beg my husband, if I had one to come pick me up. The only sad thing about the edit is the reaction of the wife. Imagine crying from happiness because your husband did a totally normal and caring thing that you would expect from a partner. I mean, it's cute, but it's weird. NTA. I travel for business a lot and would never think of having my spouse pick me up at the airport. I either take a car and park it there or take an Uber. It's just work. An Uber would be just as fast as you picking her up, so why impose on your spouse? Wow. Thank you generous people for the gold and silver. I'm humbled and grateful. Agreed. NTA. Been in the same situation several times. Including a supposed 11 PM train that actually arrived at 3 AM due to delays. We both agreed at that time that it would be better for her to get a cab paid by her job than for me to get out at 2 AM and home at 4. We pick each other up when that works. But sometimes getting the airport train/bus or a cab makes more sense. At least here, Central Europe, France/Switzerland and Norway. Safety is a non-issue. Maybe that's not true in the US. It's more about costs and that it's usually a nice thing to do. NTA. As a female who travels for work, I don't inconvenience people with my own travel needs. Work pays for the transportation, so I make whatever arrangements are necessary, e.g. Uber, Lyft, car service, etc. It'd be a nice gesture if you picked her up, but I totally get why it'd be difficult. I had an ex-boyfriend that would do this to me all the time. He traveled frequently for work and would ask me to pick him up. We didn't live together, so I would drive from my house to the airport, to his house, and then back to mine. When he could easily taken the cab with having work pay for it, he would call me selfish if I didn't. Thank God he's an ex now. As someone whose spouse travels frequently for work, our general policy is I will get him anytime. Unless I'm working, or it's the middle of the night, before I work the next morning. She's not wrong to ask, but you're within your rights to say no. I wonder if other commenters assume this is a one-time thing. I'm assuming since you said she travels for business, you need to pick her up on a semi-regular basis, as is the case for me. In that case, it's not sustainable to always pick her up like that. Edit, the person below misread my comment. So I clarified the grammar. NTA. It's just a cab home. It's faster, more convenient, and easy for all involved. I live 15 minutes from the airport. I would never under any circumstance prefer having to deal with someone coming to get me. Cabs are right outside. You get off a plane and straight to the cab, then straight home. This entire thread is bonkers. I've never had someone pick me up at the airport and never would if I live within cab range. This is so insane to me. IDK why everyone is saying you're tar. Now, you both have reasonable reasons for wanting to go/not go. It's unreasonable to say that he married her, so he has to go. Uber/taxi are both reasonable ways to get home. I'm so sorry you're getting harassed by some people here and being accused of being a bad husband. It's unreasonable to say that he married her, so he has to go. It's not just unreasonable. That's a toxic mentality for a marriage. The whole point of a healthy marriage is that both partners' feelings are considered. Not that it's wrong to ever suggest your spouse might be asking something unreasonable. If each party feels like they always need to meet whatever request their spouse has, it's going to build resentment between the two of them. If something like this isn't a big inconvenience, then they should go. And if it is one, they shouldn't need to. Simple as that. Now, I don't get why everyone thinks you're the asshole. This is clearly an ass situation. Husband wants to get enough sleep before work. Wife wants him to pick her up. This isn't deep enough for him to be an asshole. I'm glad you went to pick up your wife. I think it was the right thing to do, but don't think not doing it would made you an asshole. I know. Right? Since when were people assholes for doing/not doing something for a completely legitimate reason? We have kids now. But before, my husband and I would often offer to pick each other up at the airport, and we didn't even have a car at times. So it was just a matter of showing up and then taking a cab together. It's silly, but we were excited the other was coming home. There were also times we didn't ask or expect. It's life, and sometimes it was too late/early, or we were just too busy. If you can do it and not jeopardize your job or safety, yours or others. It's a little thing. You won't remember the missed sleep in 6 months, but she will remember pretty much forever that you were there for her. Small effort, big reward. Always think about it like this and you're covered. If I were dating someone that I was really trying to impress and win over because I really care about them and think they are someone I may want to spend the rest of my life with, would I do whatever it is they are asking me to do? Then there is your answer. Marriage makes us take our spouses for granted sometimes. Treating each other how we did when we were trying to win them over is the way to keep them in our lives and make them feel appreciated. This is a great response and 100% true. NTA. Lol, so many AITA people up top have obviously never been married. She's an adult. Adults can Uber. Ops situation has been resolved and new comments are overwhelmingly against sub rules. Locked. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more future videos.